What's going on, guys? Carrie and I are finishing up moving out of Pololo. Maybe I'll take you guys over there tomorrow and kind of document what it's like over there. It's disgusting. And because I can crop this shot and it looks like everything's nice and well put together over here, we're nice and moved in. Psych! This place is a madhouse. So I was talking to Carrie, and I talked to a lot of the guys that I work with, and we focus a lot on dream setting. In an earlier video, I was talking about how we dream up like our ideal lifestyle, and we break it down into costs and see what our dream lifestyle is going to cost. And that's focusing on the positives, focusing on this fantastic life we're going to be living. But one thing that kind of gets overlooked, or you're not supposed to talk about, is the opposite of that. What does fear setting look like, and how can you, one, prevent against it, but two, kind of see both sides of the coin? So to give you an example, those of you who know me personally know that I left the military on medical terms. I got a medical discharge, and at the time, and for let's say 8 years, it was crazy. It was just dealing with a lot of like medical stuff, and still to a certain extent, but glad to say that I'm past it and moving on with life. I think early on I was kind of like, oh man, like this is crazy, like this sucks. I remember talking to my doctor and I was like, I don't know how far I want to get into this, but at the time it was really, really crazy. You know, you lost not only like the only thing that you knew how to do, it was what I was kind of leaning towards being a career, and it was just suddenly like I was dealing with all these medical things for close to 10 years. I lost everything, my friends, everyone I had, that kind of like my support network, and was just kind of like alone and dealing with these health issues, and then figuring out like an income and stuff like that. But in the end, I'm glad that I went through that. For many reasons, I probably won't get into all of them right now, but had I not gone through that, I wouldn't be on the life path that I'm on now, and I also wouldn't be as prepared to help the guys that I'm helping out now, like the guys that I'm working with. So in the end, I'm grateful that it happened, now that I'm looking back on it. Which leads me to what I want to talk about today, my daily note for the day, and that's to think about fear setting. Think about not only when we're building our future, we're building our ideal life scenario, and we're looking at all the benefits and the great things to come and building our dream life, but what if the opposite of that happened? What's the worst case scenario? If you're contemplating a decision, let's say it's quitting your job, let's say it's moving, starting an online business, whatever big decision you have coming up, what is the worst case scenario of that happening? Typically when we sit down and we start actually listing out the worst case scenario, it's not that crazy. For most people able to watch this on a computer or on a phone, on YouTube, have internet access, the worst case scenario typically doesn't involve you being homeless and starving on the street, or some mortal wound being inflicted to you. Typically the worst case scenario is maybe you lose some money, I don't know what it is for you, but sit down and map out what the worst case scenario looks like. And then once you have the worst case scenario kind of mapped out, and okay, this would be like this would be the worst thing to kind of go through. Now look and try and see the opposite side of that coin. For every action, for every event, there's both the positive and the negative. This includes your dream life as well. So when you're looking at this kind of worst case scenario, this fear setting as opposed to dream setting, try and see the opposite side of it. Okay, if I did quit my job and I did give up my income, I did pursue online business fully, then what's the worst case scenario? Okay, the worst case scenario would be, well, I don't have an income. I mean, hopefully you have some money saved and don't just jump off the deep end right away. But what would be the benefit of going through that? Maybe you'd be forced to take action. Maybe you'd be forced to bootstrap. Maybe you'd be forced to stay motivated. Maybe the benefit would be that you hated that job anyway, and now that you have all this extra time, you can really focus on what your passion project is. You can focus on freedom if that's one of your values. You can focus on finding a different job, because now it's kind of, you put yourself in a kind of a situation where you're forced to take action, you're forced to make a move. I don't know, of course, whatever your fear is, your fear setting, your worst case scenario, it's going to be different for everyone. That's just some ideas to kind of get you going. And at the same time, for your dream setting, try and see the opposite side of that too. For your dream setting, what are the drawbacks of your dreams coming true? Well, let's say that I have my dream house and I'm comfortable and I have consistent passive income. You have everything you could have ever wanted. What are the drawbacks of having your lifestyle come to you so effortlessly? Well, the drawback could be now you're not motivated to do anything. You have your absolute ideal scenario and now you're just satisfied. So you sit around, you do nothing, you become lazy, you then get depressed, you then start spiraling, you then start losing your assets, your passive income. There's always a drawback to every benefit, and there's always a benefit to every drawback. So I don't want to kind of make this a gloomy kind of video like fear set, think of the worst case scenario. But it is important to plan that out and map out what that actually looks like. A lot of people get stuck on these doom and gloom scenarios, but they haven't even defined them, what the worst case scenario looks like, and what would be the benefit if it did happen. Something I was thinking about today, another short daily note, and we're in the process of moving, so hopefully by tomorrow, and definitely the day after, we just have to turn the keys over, whether we're fully moved out or not. So tomorrow's going to be a big push. Maybe the day after will be just the final finishing touches, throw some paint up, and that'll free up a little bit more time, get caught up with school, get caught up with my online stuff, and oh man, I don't know why I decided to make these videos at this point in my life, but here we are. I think a big part of it too, now that I'm on a ramble, is having just a daily journal, having the daily videos. So either way, maybe nobody else sees these videos, but maybe in 10 years, Carrie and I can look back and laugh at these videos and see some little snapshots of Hawaii. Maybe a better background than this, but we can look back on the time in Hawaii. And yeah, I want to start bringing her into videos. I know she talked about starting to make videos as well, so we're working on getting her a camera. Okay, actually a really short video for today. My camera keeps shutting off no matter what battery I have in it, so I'm going to sign off for tonight before it dies again, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks for watching these if you are, and yeah, see you soon.